In today's Wood Story, I'm going to show you what happens when you combine a dozen eggs, some purple hardwood, and a 10-day challenge. So last week, I found myself up north skiing with my family, and on my way back, I spent some time going through my emails on my phone when I noticed an email from the Makers Challenge Central announcing a Walrus Oil 10-day board challenge. Now, I've never done a woodworking challenge before, and the challenge had technically already started, but I didn't let that stop me from entering. The rules were that you had to make some sort of a board, and it must have 2 contrasting woods, and the deadline was now 7 days away. I knew I had to come up with something pretty excellent and quickly. It was time for my brain to get to work. So my idea is I am going to make an egg board. So essentially a board that holds eggs. And right now I am designing the file for it. So we'll see if this all comes to life. But my idea is that I'm going to make a board, fairly standard, that's going to be visually appealing. And it's going to be based on the radius of an egg, which I've determined is about 45 millimeters. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove one of the eggs here. I have 12 on here right now. And I am going to instead place an image of a chicken. And that will be my contrasting color. Yeah, what you just saw on the screen was a pretty boring idea. And spoiler alert, I'm happy to say that I quickly abandoned this idea and came up with a much better one. But let's just keep pretending for a minute, because this was only day 1 of me working on this project, and my creative juices had yet to unfold. I just didn't want you to think that this was the actual project. But let's get back to the story now. So that's kind of my idea right now. I'm just working through the design file to make sure that it's all perfect. And then I got to start gluing up some boards and make it all work. But if you're wondering about my lovely outfit here, it is because it is a balmy minus 16 Celsius outside. And after 2 hours of trying to heat up my shop with various heaters, I am still only at 8 degrees Celsius inside. So at least it's warm enough now for me to get started on some glue ups when I get to that. But it is still pretty frosty. So I'm keeping my clothes on, so you'll have to excuse my appearance. But let's get to work. To be honest, I don't remember the exact moment I decided to switch my design, but I do remember that I had this idea of sandwiching 2 boards together and carving the top to make a really cool effect. Now, I'm not a great graphic designer, but I do know how to manipulate vector images. So I'll often start my creative process with an image that I purchase, and then I will build upon this image or turn it into something completely different. I just often need that starting point to let my creative juices flow. Before I could get underway with my project, I needed to glue up some boards to make it a bigger surface. I came up with this idea of gluing 2 contrasting woods together, kind of like a sandwich, because I had the intention of carving out an image which would reveal the underlying wood in certain areas only. I knew the shape had to hold eggs, but I also wanted the final egg board to feature these holes both when in use and when empty. My brain was certainly all over the place, and to be honest, I wasn't sure where this project was going. I used basically every single clamp that I own in my shop in order to put this all together and to clamp it really tight, but it's still not enough. You'll find out about that later on. So I am pretty much on day 3 of making this egg holder, egg board that I have been talking about. The design has changed from the very beginning. It's definitely nothing like I said it was in the beginning, but that's okay. And then what I did is I ran some tests yesterday using MDF, and after I was done, I realized that everything was completely opposite of what I actually wanted it to do. So I'm back to the drawing board. I'm back to trying to figure out what's going on with my design. And I think one of the biggest issues that I'm having right now is that I had a lot of shapes that were not connected. Let me show you what I mean. So here is my design, and this is after having now updated it. But originally, it was more like this. And as you can see, there was a whole bunch of shapes here that were not connected together. And I'm sure there's a way of doing it properly, but I couldn't figure it out. So right now, I'm decided I'm going to simplify it because I am certainly not an expert at the CNC yet. And I have now connected everything. So all of these are now connected as one shape, with the only one not being connected being the eye, because I can't really connect that to anything. So hopefully that'll be okay. I can just work around one thing. If not, then maybe I'll move the eyebrow over just to connect slightly. But I think this might actually work. But now the next thing I need to do is I need to add the egg holes. But I also have to make sure that once I get them in here, that they're not cutting off the design, so that when I do this, that I all of a sudden have like a new floating shape. So that's the next thing I'm going to figure out before I then bring it back over to the CNC software. I'm finally at the point where I'm ready to carve this egg board. And it's been a journey. I have my layers, I have my oak on top, I have my purple on the bottom. I got a nice crack here, but it only goes to about here, so it's okay. So I'm going to just start from here. That's going to be my zero right there. But then I have some issues here where the wood didn't quite connect, but it looks like it's just a corner, so it should be okay in theory because it's supposed to come up like this. So I have a lot of hopefully it works out kind of thing, and this is like a 3-hour carve at normal speed. Hopefully I can increase the speed a bit, but we'll see. Either way, let's try it out and see what happens. Windows going. So here is the result after the carve. Most of it went really well. I did have a few areas right here where my oak must have been a little bit thicker than 6 millimeters, so it did not quite carve. So I'll have to go in and hand do that after the fact with my handheld router. I could of course program something in and redo it, but I am not confident enough to do that just yet. And then another thing that seems to be happening is it's really nice and smooth, but then as you can see on each one, there's like one section where it's not as smooth. So I'll also have to hand sand that. I don't really know how to fix that at this point. That is, again, part of my learning curve. And we pretty much went to the bottom. You can see here it's okay. Here it still had a little bit left, but that's okay. I prefer that there's just a teeny little bit left. I will take that off over on the drum sander. That way it's held in place. But overall, it turned out great. I was really worried if I was going to have enough wood because it was kind of borderline of what I had, but it looks like I had enough. All right. I am still pretty new in my CNC journey, and I have yet to figure out how to reprogram little mistakes when things don't quite go the way that I want it to. And I have this little leftover wood up in the one area, primarily because my wood must have been a little bit thicker than the rest of it. And that's okay, mistakes happens. And I still enjoy using my handheld router, so nothing wrong with taking a couple minutes to bring that out and fixing that this way. And are you really a woodworker if there are not mistakes to be fixed? Let's be honest here. Woodworking is all about fixing your mistakes. At least mine. I recently got this little handheld sander made by Milwaukee, and I got it as a Christmas present from my husband, and he was definitely questioning, why do I need another sander? I already have a Festool orbital sander and a drum sander, so why could I possibly need another sander? Well, I have to say that this little tool here is basically the best thing that I have ever come across. It is so good for getting into the little nooks and cranny. Like, you can see this shape. This is not an easy shape to sand, and it's purple heart and white oak, which is basically impossible to sand by hand. But this little orbital sander is worth every single dollar that he spent on it. So thank you, sweetie. I really appreciate it. So speaking of fixing my mistakes here, this was a mistake that I definitely had that I needed to deal with, and I am not happy with what I chose to do here. It's very easy to say what you should have done after the fact. What I should have done was take either some white oak sand dust or some purple heart sawdust, and I should have mixed that with some glue in order to get a perfect color. But instead, what I did is I decided, I'll just use this little natural wood filler and it'll look just fine. It'll be fine, but it doesn't actually look that great. And as much as I want to say that it's a design feature for the final product, I'm not too happy with it. But the good news is that I'm probably the only one who will notice it. And now that I pointed it out to you, you will also notice it. But no one else has said anything about this. So, oh well, it is what it is. Lesson learned for next time. The time has finally come to oil up this board. Now, funny enough, this challenge is by Walrus Oil, but according to the competition, you don't actually need to use walrus oil. I don't know if that's just some sort of weird Instagram kind of competition, weird legal jumbo, because why would I not use walrus oil? I already love it, so why would I possibly want to use any other kind of oil when it's a walrus oil challenge? So, of course, that is what I used. I used their food-safe cutting board oil, and it is great for a board like this because it's going to be holding eggs, and even though I don't know if you can really say that that's going to go through the eggshell, like if there is a real concern, but why take the chance? Walrus Oil will bring this product to life, and it's going to look wonderful. So thank you, Walrus Oil. The time has come to submit my final work to the Makers Challenge to be considered for this competition. I'm excited. I have no idea when they're going to be announcing the winner, so I guess I'm just going to submit my result and see what happens. Now, in my family, we don't say, wish me luck. If we did, then I would say, wish me luck. But what we say is, good skill, because luck has nothing to do with it. But maybe my skills are good enough, and maybe they aren't. But either way, it's something that I can work on, I can improve upon, I can strive towards. So no luck is needed, only skill. Thank you so much for watching this WoodStory. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great content and to find out how this challenge turned out. And let me know in the comments below if you think this egg board stands a chance of winning. I'll see you soon in the next WoodStory.